Hey, this is Matthew.
This is Rich from RageWorks.
Welcome back to Out of the Box, Into the Ring. That's right, we changed the name of the show. Because the guy who did the graphics, who I know is watching right now, messed up the order, and you know what, we're going to go with it from now on because it just sounds better.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, this is Out of the Box, Into the Ring Extreme Edition because we are continuing our look at original San Francisco toy makers ECW figures.
That's right. Oh, we have the one and only Justin Credible from Ozone Park, Queens. ECW staple that was leveraged by Paul Heyman right when everybody else was leaving ECW. Paul Heyman was notorious for making chicken salad out of chicken shit. And he did that with Justin Credible. He was a textbook guy, pretty much was an ECW staple until the end, more or less.
Yeah, pretty much.
And now I think he manages Olive Garden.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
So get your hardcore breadsticks
That's
from
it.
Justin Credible. So this Justin Credible here is from the first wave of the ECW figures. And what's interesting about him is in his prototype form, they first showed off the figure at Toy Fair, his shirt said Got Blood.
Right.
And as you can see here, it does not say Got Blood anymore. So,
good old ECW logo to cover everything up.
pretty much. And that was one of the many changes they had to make in that first wave. But it doesn't bother me as much.
It's weird because you have a super violent promotion that you got to put toys out for.
Yeah.
And you have to pretty much make it kid-friendly, which ECW was far from it.
Not at all, yeah. And you might notice what's also really cool about this figure is it's autographed.
Nice.
So I think this might be an original autograph, and by that I mean what they used to do at ECW shows is they have the guys there, and they would actually sell their merch to the people directly, and they'd often at times have like stacks of autographed figures. So basing it on how faded this autograph looks, I want to say this was actually probably one from a show.
Nice.
But again, I could be wrong because it's a Sharpie, and those fade after a while, and that's why you should not get your toys autographed in Sharpie. Always use paint markers.
Nice.
Yeah.
I learned something new. Not like I'm having people autograph my toys because I'm taking them out of the box. So the back of the packaging has our first initial wave of figures. You see our good old buddy Chris Candido in there, Rob Van Dam, Taz, of course, and of the ECW ring with the cage, and Sabu doing a textbook dive off the top. One of the craziest things, especially being a toy collector for so long, is the pricing of figures and how far it's come. A Marvel Legends figure nowadays runs between $19.99 and $24.99. This ECW figure at KB Toy Stores was $3.99. Think about it. You get a figure with accessories, decent-sized figure, articulation, action feature for less than $10. For less than $5 to go even crazier.
I think Toys R Us had them for $5 usually, and to compare that with like the Jakks figures at the time, so this is like the start of the Titantron era of figures. They're getting more expensive, so now they're about $8 to $10 depending where you got them from. So pretty big jump in price for Jakks. These were a much more affordable option to get at the time.
Yep. I mean, this was one of those situations where a kid could walk into a store, badger his mom, and for less than $5, you'd walk out with a figure. Can't go wrong. And with that said, let's get this figure out of the box.
And into the ring.
All right.
So here's our Justin Credible out of the packaging now. And all things considered, it's actually a very, very good likeness of Justin Credible.
Pains me to say it, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the hell it is.
They got everything down here. And again, this is round 98, Justin Credible. So at this point, he's with his little team of, I think it was Jason Sensation, Chastity, and Nicole Bass. He's just causing havoc in the company.
That's right. He has his textbook jorts and his cutoff sleeve ECW t-shirt. And Justin Credible was pretty generic. I mean, he had an awesome finisher, though. He had that pile driver that he used to do.
The Tombstone pile driver.
Yep.
He was a very good wrestler. It just, I think it was the gimmick that was kind of lacking.
I think that the problem was that...
At least in ECW.
No. In ECW it worked. Once they transitioned, then he came to, like, WWF. Like, the gimmick just didn't work. Some guys' gimmicks only work in certain places, and his worked, especially when they did shows here in New York, because he was a New York product from Ozone Park, Queens.
But also, even though I wasn't like the biggest fan, at the time I was watching it, I was also a pretty big mark too. So I was like, "Boo, Justin!" But he did a damn good job at making me hate him.
Oh, he did a really good job of being just a great heel.
He was a great heel, and he deserved the spot he got ultimately.
He had
in ECW.
He had 1, 2, 3 kid level hate.
Yeah, kind of
definitely did, especially in the ECW days.
But not to get it twisted, because he's still a lot of fun to watch, and this is a really fun toy to play with, because it's got all the things we love about him. It's got the jorts, it's got the tights he wore under the jorts.
Yep, that's right.
It's got the shoes he had even. I mean, it's that's one thing you could say about these figures is they all had typically unique sculpts to them, and this Justin Credible is no exception.
Yep, he definitely embodied exactly what Justin Credible looked like in the ring. Justin Credible, some people may not be a fan of his, some people may think he's a garbage wrestler, so it's only fitting he comes with a garbage can.
Ouch, Rich. Ouch.
I'm being honest. A lot of people that watched him wrestle, he had pretty much the basic moveset. It was only the pile driver that was like the end all be all. There was no redeeming signature move. There was nothing out of the ordinary. Just the pile driver and an awesome entourage and tying a flannel shirt around his pants.
So Justin, if you're watching this video, you can at Rich at RageWorks and let him know what you think of his opinion of you.
No, I don't hate Justin Credible. I just feel that at the time when so many people were memorable characters in ECW, he was just the dude off the street.
It's okay, Rich. You've done enough damage to your cred. So Justin's garbage can fits perfectly into his hand, which lets us do his action feature, which is the double axe handle. We haven't actually seen this one before.
That's right. He's the first to actually have that.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. So, again, it works both ways. You can either put the garbage can. Well, let's see if it actually does. Because normally their hands are a little tough to get in there, but no, actually it snapped right in.
Yep.
So he can do it that way, but no one really hits a garbage can like that. So we'll do it the right way.
Have to bend the hands and put it.
Yeah, but it actually fits pretty good. I mean.
Yeah, not bad actually.
That's actually really nice. I mean, it's gonna probably fly right out of his hands, but. Yep. That's fine for playing with it.
Yep, the action feature works pretty well.
And it's pretty smooth, too, if you want to give it a try yourself. It actually is nice.
Yeah, and you know what the thing about it is, too? If you want to do the axe handle, even if you could bring it a little closer, you can kind of almost get the axe handle feature. Or even like a power bomb or pile driver if you wanted. You could do the pile driver with this figure.
Totally works, yeah.
Yep.
It's actually really good. It's a good figure to play with.
Yeah, especially at that time.
I will say he's got pretty enormous pecs. And that's the one thing about these ECW figures that always drove me crazy, and they still continue to, is that their body types are all over the place.
Yep.
And, like we talked about Tommy Dreamer in the past and his enormous pecs. And
well, I think they relied on 4 sculpts, I feel, right? Because you had...
They were all pretty unique, actually.
Do you think so?
Yeah, they were all actually, for the most part, everybody had a unique body type.
Huh.
So it's just for whatever reason, maybe for playability, making them feel bigger to compare with like the Hasbros and the Jax figures. Keeping in mind that the Jax Bone Crunchers were pretty thick as well. I guess that's part of it, because you can compare it to like... a guy like Lance Storm, that's pretty buff.
Were they all the same scale back then?
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's
No, but I mean against like WWE's offerings, like
with the Bone Crunchers, they're pretty close.
Okay.
With the Titantron figures, no, because Titantrons were then like much taller. But those are a different breed. These were meant to be with the Bone Crunchers.
Okay.
But yeah, they were all kind of thick boys, so I guess that's why. But it always drove me crazy as a kid because Justin Credible is. He's in fine shape, but he was never, 300 pounds like Hulk Hogan over here.
Definitely not. He was a pretty, like I said, just the homeboy off the street.
Yeah.
Like that was but that was part of the appeal. That was the vibe.
The man of war from the streets.
That's it. Portuguese man of war, Aldo Montoya.
So that's enough talk about the figure. Why don't we see what kind of action he can do in the ring?
That's it. Who's the unlucky victim?
So Justin Credible's in the ring now. He's ready for his opponent. Who is it going to be?
Oh, the one and only Tommy Dreamer.
Oh, Tommy Dreamer. That's right. Now, around the time when they were making these figures, sculpts, and all that stuff, it was mid-98. So around that time, he would have actually been feuding with Tommy Dreamer.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I'm pretty sure it was Heatwave 98 where they had one of their first matches together, which was a crazy match. Again, he had his stable with him. They had a pretty good feud for a while, and they continued to feud up until the end of the company when, things were shutting down.
That's it, the old bounce check match. But in all seriousness, these guys, especially towards the closing of ECW, they were the pinnacle of keeping that business running. Justin Credible feuded with everybody.
Yeah.
And so did Tommy Dreamer. And amongst all of those feuds, there were a lot of gems, but nothing like the work these two guys did together, which was definitely some of the best stuff they did.
We should add now that you see here Tommy Dreamer's got a kendo stick in his hand. We haven't reviewed who that came with yet. I actually just had a bunch of... I actually just purchased a lot of ECW accessories from somebody, and I happened to get the kendo stick. But this came with the Sandman figure, and that was the only way to get that. But to be honest, if you're talking about Justin Credible and Tommy, you have to have the kendo stick. You got to have the Singapore cane.
Must.
Yeah,
absolutely. The thing about it is that more figures should have came with the kendo stick. I mean, I don't want to beat up Justin Credible, but
this is his video. What are you doing here?
Exactly.
The heel's supposed to work over the face.
That's it.
Let's do this right.
Got to work over Tommy Dreamer. What do you have? The axe handle. Oh.
Well, so much for that.
And that kills the kendo stick.
His action feature was so stiff it didn't work.
That's it.
Look at that. That's a good sound it made too.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's a little floppy in his hand, but you get the idea. You have to have that. And again, in '98 he was using it, but it wasn't like his primary thing. Like it wasn't. No. It was with the Impact players, Lance Storm. But still cool to have it. And
yeah, the kendo stick is a nice piece to have. I think more weapons should have been included, at least more iconic weapons. But the Singapore cane, definitely a Sandman thing, and a Tommy Dreamer thing.
But we all know that Justin Credible here came with a garbage can, so let's just use that.
That's it.
Since that's what he came with.
And that's the end of Tommy Dreamer.
Pretty much, yeah. So let's see. What should we do with our friend Tommy Dreamer? Well, we can always do a DDT because that's a classic.
Yep, DDTs work.
Oh.
The hand positioning works for the DDT. And DDT onto the trash can.
Look at that.
That actually works really well. He used to do a pile driver also, but again, posability aside,
I think you can do the Tombstone. I think it's doable.
It's tough to hold Dreamer, but probably like that, and you got to have a little help. But if you wanted to do it that way, you could probably just drop him on his dome.
Yeah, I mean, he did his a little different way too. I mean, he was just like the cruiserweight style of the Tombstone.
Yep.
So I think you can kind of do him like this, and then
probably.
There we go. Yeah, that works. I'll go with that. And just because he's bald, I feel like he didn't do this, but I'm just gonna make him do it anyway. Just
diving headbutt.
Just diving headbutt.
Diving headbutt is a must.
Why not? Yeah. What else did he do? Have him do
Yeah, I think the DDT, the reverse DDT, definitely the pile driver. He had a very, as I say, very one-dimensional moveset. He was a punch kick guy.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then plunder, and then the finish. That's it. Oh, the old baseball bat, because of course, when you're from Ozone Park, Queens.
Oh no, he did it to himself.
Oh, he botched mania.
Tommy's taking control now. Oh. Yeah. I don't even know what's happening. They're both just botching now constantly.
That's it. There you go.
Close
That'll
enough.
work.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of playability, Justin Credible is great because he is fairly easy to play with.
Yep.
So in that regard, it's actually a really great figure. It's really perfect for that. If you want to have a lot of fun, he's going to have. He's going to beat up on it because you always need to have a good heel to have your faces win. And
yep.
None better to beat up on than Justin Credible.
Absolutely.
Can't forget, of course, he also did a super kick, which is really not going to work because listen to that stiffness.
Help my hip.
No, his legs do not want to bend.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you can hear that noise. So just fake it.
Sure, why not? That's it. Now we're gonna get Justin Credible some naproxen for his pain, since he has arthritic joints.
Poor guy. So we'll give him this just because he didn't have it yet. But by the time these toys came out, he was using it.
Absolutely.
There we go. Yeah. So that's our look at Justin Credible, original San Francisco Toy Makers line. Not one of the best, but a good one to have. And I think it's a must-have because it is Justin Credible. You need to have this villain, and it's still tons of fun.
Yeah, and I think if you want to have the complete ECW chronology, all the figures that were just textbook players in the business, Justin Credible is a must.
Yes. And I do want to add, for anybody that's wondering, no, we did not harm the signed Justin Credible. I had a stunt Justin Credible.
That's it.
Ready to fill in.
Stunt double ready to come in and help out.
Yeah, so there you go, folks. You're seeing double for Justin Credibles. So there you guys go. So I am Matthew.
I'm Rich from RageWorks.
And we'll see you guys here next time for another episode of Out of the Box Into the Ring Extreme Edition. See you next time.
Peace.